Hi, this is Grandma Laurie. Today's story is the Zoo Walkabout. I'm bored, said Emmie, a little elephant born in the zoo. I understand, said her mom. You'll get used to it, though. The zoo will open soon and we'll have lots of people to watch as they watch us. Emmie thought for a minute and decided, I need to do something. Then she came up with a great idea. She'd take a walkabout in the zoo. She picked a moment when her mom was eating and snuck out through a gap in the fence. Of course, it was a huge gap, but Emmie still needed to squeeze through. Ah, Emmie said to herself, freedom at last. Now let's see who else lives here. As she strolled through the zoo, Emmie carefully walked past the lion enclosure, being sure not to wake the lions. She stopped at the giraffe enclosure to say hi to Gerald, her friend, and his mom. Gerald asked, What are you doing out and about? Mrs. Giraffe added, Does your mom know you're out of the enclosure? I was bored, so I squeezed through a gap in the fence, Emmie said. I've got to keep moving, but it was lovely to see you. As Emmie continued her walk, Mrs. Giraffe sent a message to Emmie's mom to let her know where she was. Emmie was getting tired. She had seen the zebras, the wildebeest, and the llamas, stopping at each enclosure to chat. The zebras even gave her a snack. As she walked past the monkey enclosure, Emmie heard, What you doing? It was her friend Mogo. Oh, hi, Mogo. I was just taking a bit of a stroll, Emmie said. But I'm starting to get tired and want to go home. I'm afraid I'm a bit lost. No problem, I can get you home, said Mogo. Emmie hugged Mogo with her trunk and the pair was off. The zookeepers were used to the monkeys escaping all the time, but it was different for baby elephants, so they had to be careful to avoid the zookeepers. As they walked, they talked about life in the zoo, the good parts and the not-so-good parts. Mostly, they enjoyed life at the zoo. Emmie especially loved the keepers in the elephant enclosure. They always gave her extra snacks and would use a scrubby brush when they gave her a bath. It felt so good. The longer they walked, the more tired Emmie became. Finally, Mogo said, Here's your enclosure. Your mom looks worried. Emmie looked at her mom. Then she felt sorry that she left without telling her mom where she was going. Mom looked so worried. Where could that child be? Emmie heard her mom say. I'd better leave you here, said Mogo when they reached a different gap in the fence. I don't want to get in trouble with your mom. The friends waved goodbye to each other. Emmie then had a problem. She hadn't ever seen this gap in the fence. It was so small she'd have to crawl through. What are you worried about, Mom? Asked Emmie. Mrs. Elephant was startled. There you are. Where have you been, young lady? Are you unhurt? I'm okay, said Emmie. I went on a walk around the zoo. I saw all kinds of animals, even the lions. Then Mogo helped me get back. What? You talked to the lions? Don't you know how dangerous that is? Mrs. Elephant gasped. They were nice. They weren't as bad as you said, was Emmie's reply. Mrs. Elephant knew better, but didn't say anything. We'll talk about this tomorrow. It's time for you to go to bed, Mrs. Elephant said. That night, Emmie was so tired she fell fast asleep, dreaming of zebras, llamas, giraffes, and monkeys. This has been Grandma Laurie. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the story. Make sure to subscribe, comment, and share so we can keep bringing you great stories. Thank you.